tomorrow. I promise you, it's the end of the WNBA. But I'm going to play some footage. I want you guys to listen to it. Let's roll it.
Not speaking to the media.
Tonight?
Tonight.
She's not speaking to the media tonight?
She has said she is unavailable for media. She will make decisions, but not take questions.
I did not.
Silence speaks louder than words sometimes. And last night, Kathy Engelbert chose silence. No press conference. No questions taken. Just a written statement. And then, nothing. This came right after another controversial game involving Caitlin Clark. And instead of facing the media, the commissioner went dark. Think about that for a second. When you dodge the cameras like this, it's not about bad optics. It's about not having answers that hold up. And that says everything about where the WNBA really stands right now. More than any statement ever could.
Class on organizational leadership right now. Just to keep my brain. This is perfect timing. When you don't set the tone at the top with ethics, with values, with your leadership, then as in Christie's statement comes, you can let people run amok. Mm-hmm. So Kathy does not have a relationship where she can pick up the phone, should have picked up the phone, whether it's AT now or somebody else back then, and said, hey, what's going on? How can we help you? Mm-hmm. That is not happening. That's why you get the comments from Nafisa Collier last year. Mm-hmm. So you have to set the tone.
Here's Helen laying out exactly how leadership breaks down from the top. And honestly, she's spot on. No clear values. No real bond with the players. No ethical line that everyone actually respects. What do you get? Chaos. Players feeling exposed. Coaches stuck in impossible spots. Fans turning on each other. And that's exactly what's playing out in the WNBA right now. Helen's point on leadership cuts deep here. Engelbert doesn't have the kind of relationship with players where she can just pick up the phone and talk it out. This isn't a guess. We saw it last year with the De'Erica Hamby situation. We're seeing it again now with how the Caitlin Clark incidents are being handled. There's a real gap between the league office and the women actually out there playing the game.
Make sure that people buy into that. But if you don't have a relationship with the people that you work with, it's kind of hard because they don't know if there is anything to buy into. Right. So It starts at the top and it trickles down. And what we're seeing is a lack of leadership, a lack of, from the outside, I will say, looks like a lack of empathy, a lack of caring, and a lack of structure where there are consequences for the people that do these things. Now, you cannot police social media. I'm not saying that. Yeah. But you can have you can have a stronger stance. You can find ways to communicate that strong stance on a consistent basis. What Kathy has done is she's just put people in an impossible situation. Yeah. Stephanie White is in an impossible situation. Mm-hmm. She's damned if she do and damned if she don't, because obviously she's going to have to, take up for Caitlin Clark.
Now stay with me, because this is where it really gets messy. Stephanie White, Indiana's head coach, is stuck in a no-win spot. Caitlin takes a hard hit on the court. White has to speak up for her player. But the moment she does, people say she's too protective. And if she holds back, the fans erupt. There's literally no right move here. And Helen makes another point that hits hard. This isn't about basketball anymore. Not really. The game has turned into a stage for something much bigger and much uglier. It's about race. It's about who gets protected and who doesn't. It's old fans versus new fans. It's media narratives. It's toxic social media pylons. Basketball is just the surface. The real issues run way deeper than the court.
And Caitlin to work out, hey, Caitlin, you need to do better. You need to be a better leader, blah, 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 blah. But she's in an impossible situation because people don't like the fact that she defends her, but then the other people don't like the fact if she didn't defend her. This honestly has nothing to do with basketball. This just happens to be the arena in which this behavior is happening.
Wowza. That's a word right there, Helen, for sure. Because I know, Cindy, you just said that Kathy Engelbert's not going to take questions, but if she has a statement tonight, I hope, wish, and pray that it has something to do with what has happened with Alyssa Thomas in this situation and getting death threats. I hope, wish, and pray that that is addressed. And like you said, the ethics.
Death threats. That's where this has escalated to now. Alyssa Thomas, after a physical play involving Caitlin Clark, started getting actual threats on her life. Not hate comments. Real death threats. So the question these analysts keep asking is the right one. Will the commissioner's statement even mention that? Will there be any sign that this has spiraled completely out of control? Here's where Helen's point on ethics really lands. For 28 years, the WNBA built its identity on being different, on community, on players lifting each other up, on the love of the game being bigger than any one star. That was the foundation. Right now, we're watching that foundation crack under the weight of new money, new eyes on the league, and leadership that looks completely unprepared to handle any of it.
To be what this league has stood on for 30 years, right? The love of the game being the star, and the way things are being handled. And you can't police social media. And to your point, that's just, and I wish you could. I mean, you could block people. I mean, and just mute and block, restrict all the things that you can do on social media. I've done, and I can do that too, to this, if people have something to say about what I'm saying on here, period. I don't care. I just love the game so much for what it stands for, right? And this would be such a missed opportunity to address the further growth of the ethics of the WNBA and what the WNBA has stood for, the inclusivity, the everyone standing together, like we saw that in the bubble, just the unified love that everyone presents for this game. And to have anyone come in from the outside trying to ruin that needs to be stopped. And that's what I hope, wish, and pray happens in that presser, with no questions coming in, but you have a statement to make. And I hope that's part of the statement, because there are too many people out here with blood, sweat, and tears and shoulders that this league has been built on for 30 years. And some that didn't even play in the league.
Yeah.
Love the league the same way.
Picture two players. Same league, same kind of hard foul, same physical contact. One gets turned into a hero with t-shirts and a social media following that shoots into the millions. The other gets death threats. That's not a hypothetical. That's exactly what happened in the WNBA this year. And it's the part of this story that should make everyone, no matter who you root for, deeply uncomfortable. Let's set the scene. Sophie Cunningham lands a hard, flagrant foul on the head of JC Sheldon. The reaction? Celebration. Fans loved it. Her following exploded overnight. A lot of newer Fever fans thought it was the best thing they'd seen all season. Now flip it. Alyssa Thomas commits a similarly hard foul, this time on Caitlin Clark. The response is nothing like before. Death threats, racial slurs, people demanding she get suspended, even banned from the league entirely. Same type of play, completely opposite reaction. And the only thing that actually changed was the race of the player throwing the foul. That's the uncomfortable truth nobody in an official capacity wants to touch directly. Because admitting it means admitting something bigger, that a huge chunk of the new fans driving these record ratings and this record revenue aren't actually here for women's basketball as a whole. They're here for one player, and everyone else on the court. To them, she's either background noise or an obstacle standing in the way. Now here's the thing. Analysts are pointing out that this is actually a fixable moment. There's a real opportunity here to draw a hard line and say, if you send death threats to a player, there are legal consequences. Simple as that. Threaten someone's life at a grocery store, you're going to jail. So why should sending that same threat online to a professional athlete be treated any differently? The law needs to step in here too, not just the league, to protect the integrity of the game, the players, and honestly, the basic decency that's supposed to come. And there's another narrative that needs pushing back on. This idea that Caitlin Clark is getting special rules written just for her. Go look closely and that story falls apart fast. There was a moment where it felt like a rule was bent in her favor, protecting her from certain contact, and then it backfired. Suddenly, she couldn't play physical defense herself without getting whistled, and she ended up watching from the bench because of it. So no, she's not floating through this league in bubble wrap. If anything, the inconsistency cuts both ways. So what's the actual fix everyone agrees on? Better officiating. Not slightly better, dramatically better. Right now, referees are struggling to keep up with how fast and skilled this league has become. And there are two natural windows coming up, the All-Star break and the international break, where the league could actually show real, visible improvement. Coaches submit game footage for review constantly and hear absolutely nothing back. No feedback, no accountability. Mix that with rising tension and a fan base ready to explode over every whistle, and you've built yourself a powder keg. What would real effort actually look like? A clear chain of command for handling complaints. Coaches actually getting told why a call was made or missed. Public accountability for blown calls, the way other leagues publish their late-game review reports. Anything that shows the league is taking this seriously instead of just hoping it quietly disappears. And here's the real tell that this is systemic. It's not just the losing teams complaining. Coaches whose teams are winning are filing formal complaints too. That's not sour grapes. That's a real problem. But strip all of that away, and here's the deeper truth. This was never really about basketball. Not fully. Sure, it's happening on a basketball court, but the real fight underneath it is about race. About who gets protection and who doesn't. About longtime fans versus the new wave. About media narratives and the toxic corners of social media doing what they do best, turning a competitive rivalry into a battlefield. And this is where the commissioner comes in, or rather, where she doesn't. After that Alyssa Thomas situation escalated into actual death threats, the response from league leadership was a written statement. No press conference, no questions taken, just paper, and then complete silence. Now think about that for a second. If this happened in the NBA, if Adam Silver released a statement about a controversy involving LeBron James and then flat out refused to take a single question, that would dominate every headline for a week straight. But because this is the WNBA, it barely made a ripple outside diehard fans and analysts. That quiet acceptance right there, that's the actual problem. It tells you that real accountability doesn't exist at the very top of this league. Because facing the media isn't optional when you're a commissioner. It's the job. It's how leadership actually gets demonstrated. And when you hide behind a piece of paper instead of standing in front of a camera, what you're really telling everyone is that you don't trust yourself to defend your own decisions out loud. Think about what she avoided by skipping questions. She avoided being asked directly about the death threats. She avoided explaining why there wasn't immediate discipline handed down after the foul that sparked all of it. She avoided questions about the pattern of physical targeting toward Clark. She avoided the uncomfortable racial questions that everyone's already thinking about anyway. She clearly didn't have strong answers, so the easier move was making sure nobody could ask. But that decision has a real cost. It costs trust with the players, who now see a league office that won't even engage with questions about their safety. It costs trust with coaches like Stephanie White, who are stuck making impossible judgment calls with zero guidance from above. Defend your player too hard. You're accused of favoritism. Don't defend her enough, and the fan base turns on you instantly. There's no winning position there, and that's not an accident. That's a total leadership vacuum. It also costs trust with the longtime fans, the ones who filled half-empty arenas for decades, who bought tickets and jerseys back when the league was losing money, who fought for this sport to even get coverage. Watching the league seemingly chase mainstream attention while ignoring the values that built it, that stings deep. And it costs trust with brand new fans too, the ones who showed up specifically because of Caitlin Clark. If the first thing they see is chaos, inconsistent officiating, death threats, and a commissioner who won't answer a single question, what conclusion do they walk away with? Either they decide the whole league is a mess and check out, or worse, they decide the problem is literally everyone who isn't Caitlin Clark, and they become part of the toxicity themselves. Neither outcome helps this league grow long-term. What was actually needed here was real leadership. Someone who could welcome the new wave of fans without abandoning the culture that built this league in the first place. Someone who could celebrate one player's massive impact, while still making sure every other star gets her due credit too. Someone honest enough to acknowledge the racial tension without letting it swallow every single conversation. Instead, silence. A statement with no follow-through, leaving a vacuum that's now being filled by angry fans online, former players picking sides, and coaches left improvising without any real direction from the top. For 28 years, this league built its identity on something different. Community over individual fame, players lifting each other up, a game built on love and loyalty rather than just spectacle. That foundation is exactly what's being tested right now, under the weight of new money, new eyes, and a level of scrutiny this league has genuinely never faced before. So here's the real question hanging over all of it. Does the league hold on to the values that built it, or does it quietly trade them away chasing bigger ratings? Right now, it looks like leadership is trying to avoid answering that question altogether, hoping it all just resolves on its own. It won't. Not with stakes this high, not with this many eyes watching every single call. So here's where you come in. If this story matters to you, if you care about where women's basketball is headed next, don't just scroll past it. Drop your take in the comments, share this with someone who needs to see it, and hit subscribe so you don't miss where this story goes next, because this is far from over.